I'm Dave and this is Logan, out once again for a walk in the countryside. Thanks for joining us. Now today we're at a place called Kimmeridge in Dorset. It's about 5 miles to the south of Wareham and 7 miles west of Swanage on the Jurassic Coast, and we're going to be doing a roughly 5.5 mile circular walk starting at Kimmeridge and heading along a ridge to Swyre Head and then joining the southwest coast path for a magnificent coastal walk back to Kimmeridge. It's a walk that is filled with spectacular views and lots of interesting things to see and explore. Now I'm filming on a glorious spring day. The sun is out, blue sky, hardly a cloud up there, and not too much of a wind either. It should be a perfect day for a walk, so do come along with us. Well, I've parked my car at a free car park in a disused quarry to the north of Kimmeridge. There is parking in Kimmeridge itself, but I think there's a toll of something like £6 a day, something like that. Now initially we're going to be heading eastwards and we'll look at the village itself towards the end of the walk, the church and the museum and what have you. But we've got an uphill bit to start off with. We're gradually making our way uphill. Good excuse for a pit stop early on, and well, some stunning views already. So just behind me here is looking northwards. Isn't that a beautiful sight? And then I'm just panning around just over on the left in the valley below. That's Tyneham, where we've done a walk in the past. Do check out that video. And the ridge in the very far distance is well, there's the Iron Age hill fort, and then panning round and there's the sea, and there the Isle of Portland, or Portland Bill as well, where we were actually filming yesterday, believe it or not. Well, I keep stopping every few minutes or so just to admire the view. So just behind me here, looking over to the west, I can look down into Kimmeridge. And there it is down there, because that'll be our final destination. The name sort of comes from the word Kimmeridgian, which I believe is an age in the late Jurassic epoch or period, basically between 152 and 157 million years ago. And then just to the left there's a little, well, it looks like little tower from here. I think it's quite big, Clavell Tower, and we'll actually be passing that on the way back. And then, sorry to show you another one of these panning views, but I hope this is coming across on the camera, because it is really quite stunning here. And just on the right hand side over to the east there, I can make out Corfe Castle. I'll continue to make my way along a ridge. I think it's called Smedmore Hill. Again, stunning views either side. So just behind me here, looking over to the west, get some great views of the sea. We'll be getting closer to it shortly. But down in the valley below, well, it's hidden by trees, but there's Smedmore House down there, originally built in 1620 by Sir William Clavell and remodelled in around about 1700, and greatly augmented in 1760 by the same family. The Smedmore estate is about 1800 acres, and I believe the house is available for holidays and weddings. But originally there were three medieval settlements around here: Kimmeridge, Smedmore and Little Kimmeridge, each with a rectangular block of land, but only Kimmeridge still exists as a settlement, although the strip fields of the other two can still be made out. Okay, we'll continue along this ridge to our next destination, which is Swyre Head over in that direction. Well, we've made it to the top of Swyre Head at 682 foot. It's the highest point on the Isle of Purbeck, not to be confused with the Swyre Head that's to the west of Door. And I'm actually standing on top of a barrow. It's 2.5 metres high and about 25 metres in diameter, with a ditch filled in. And there was a possible windmill on top here in the past, because there are a couple of shallow trenches which cross the mound. And indeed, just to the left of me, there's a trig point which Logan has bagged, which is one of our little traditions. Good news is the next section is downhill. Making our way downhill, down being the operative word, it is quite steep. It's down a permissive path just off Swyre Head, and our next destination is Ropehead Lake, where we're going to join up with the Southwest Coast path. Well, we've made it to the Southwest Coast path, and Swyre Head behind me. So we're going to be heading westwards, but I'll just show you the view to the east here. So it is a bit hazy. Hopefully you're not going to get too much sun in the lens. So Chapman's Pool is just round behind the cliff there, and in the far distance in the east is St Olwen's Head with a chapel on top, and we've actually done a walk there in the past. And then just behind, the sea is looking very calm and blue today. Beautiful. And this is looking to the west, and we're now going to continue along the path to Kimmeridge, and I think I'll keep Logan on the lead because we might be getting quite close to the cliff there. It really is quite glorious now. I think this is always my favourite time of the year, springtime. You know, it's not too hot, although it's getting a bit warm now. Continuing along the Southwest Coast path, just met a lovely couple that had a couple of sight hounds, and Logan and both of them got on well together. I think sight hounds, when they see other sight hounds, they just seem to gel so well. It was lovely seeing them wagging their tails. Right, that's the end of the pit stop. Our next destination, Clavell Tower. Now, I'm not 100% sure if that is a World War II pillbox or something else, so I shall just point it out. We're just about to drop down into Kimmeridge. I enjoyed a really quite fabulous walk along the coastal path. typical Jurassic Coast landscape. Really was quite stunning in places. Now, behind me here you can see Clavell Tower. It was built in 1830 as an observatory in Folly. It's 35 foot high and rises above Hen Cliff, which itself is 330 feet above sea level. It's got 4 floors, and well, in 2006 it was moved 82 foot back from the crumbling cliff, and if I just pan round to the left here, you can see where the original foundations were. It's now owned by the Landmark Trust and you can stay inside it. There's a few little snippets of information about it. Thomas Hardy often took his first love, Elizabeth Nichols, here to the tower. It was also the inspiration for P.D. James's 1975 novel The Black Tower, and Coast Guards used it as a lookout until the 1930s when it was gutted by a fire. Wow, what a beautiful sight. So let me tell you a bit about Kimmeridge. Now on this particular stretch of coast there's a 2 foot thick layer of bituminous shale, not the easiest word to say. It's known as oil shale, and it's a shiny stone, a bit jet black when wet, which has been extracted here for centuries, initially because of its attractive appearance and later for fuel. The Neolithic inhabitants dug out the shale to make ornaments, and the Romans used the shale for fuel when boiling seawater to make salt. Now in the 17th century, Sir William Clavell made several unsuccessful attempts to turn Kimmeridge into an industrial venture. He tried to make salt, as the Romans had done, then founded an alum works where locally made alum, which is a sort of chalky material, was processed for use in dyeing and printing. Clavell mined oil shale to fuel his factory. He even tried to turn it into a port by building a pier, but it became a ruin and was destroyed in a storm in 1745. Just as you come into the bay, this is the Wild Seas Centre, opened about 20 years ago I think, but refurbished in 2018. It's run by the Dorset Wildlife Trust and is basically an interactive marine centre. I think it's open from April through to October, and the great thing about it is it's dog friendly. Looks like remnants from the Second World War, tank traps I think. Now just going along this track here, I was looking at an old map of the area and there was an old tramway in them. Of course in the mid-19th century, when shale was used as a source of oil, a tramway was built so that the shale could be transported to Weymouth for processing. Looking at the old map, I reckon the tramway was along this bit of track here, but I'm not 100% sure. We're just coming into Kimmeridge along the cliff edge. Now viewers might remember the BBC television series 1 Foot in the Grave, and in particular one episode that was broadcast in 1997 called The End Game. And in that episode Victor Meldrew, well, he managed to stop his caravan from going over the edge of the cliff, but his car went over instead. Well, that scene was filmed at this exact location. Well, we've made it onto the beach, and that's a place called, I think it's Galter's Gap. Again, more World War II tank traps, and then looks like a pillbox on the left here. And you really do get a feel for the type of stone around here, that you know, black look about it that I was talking about earlier. The lovely sound of the waves crashing on the rocks there. And when the tide is out, I'm told this is a great place for fossil hunting. Now he's being very brave today. I don't know if it might be a bit too cold for you today. Another attempt maybe. He'll go up to his chest and that's about it, but I say it might be a little bit too cold today. I don't blame him. I'm not going to go in. We'll just climb back onto the cliffs again. There's something I want to show you in the west first before we head back inland. You can hear the sea. We had a little dip, but that's about it. It was just a little bit too cold for an all-out swim. Dogs are allowed on the beach all year round, which is really great. In fact, you can probably just see behind me a real flat area, and as I said before, I'm told a great place if you're looking for fossils. Well, I know this isn't the most attractive thing that we're going to see on the walk, but I thought it was interesting to have a look at nonetheless. It's an oil well. Back in 1959 an oil well was installed here, and it's above the cliffs, and as you can see it comprises a nodding donkey and pump that lifts oil from, well, several hundred feet below the surface. And well, as you can see, it's still in production today, and apparently it is the oldest working oil pump in the UK, yielding about 65 barrels a day, although it is decreasing year on year. The oil is transported by tanker once a fortnight to a site near Wareham and then piped to Southampton. Well, I've now left Kimmeridge Bay and heading northwards back into the sort of centre of Kimmeridge itself. And we're actually going to be following part of the Hardy Way, which is the 220-mile long distance path from Higher Bockhampton, where Hardy was born, to Stinsford churchyard, where his heart is buried. Coming into Kimmeridge on the homeward leg, full of beautiful thatched cottages. Look at that one there, 1854. And what's this, mulberry cottage there? You have this beautiful light coloured stone everywhere, very much part of the local setup for sure. Really beginning to get some colours now in some of the blossom. There's some cherry blossom over there, another thatched house. What a delightful little street, isn't it? Gorgeous. And look at this one here. I mean, it helps that it's a beautiful sunny day, but oh, isn't that wonderful? And how sweet is that, with the roses going up alongside the porch there. 1848 on the date there. All right, so a couple of things to look at the top end of the village, I think. Clavell's restaurant, we'll be definitely popping in there for a pint very shortly. And then oh look, a telephone box painted grey. Don't see too many of those. Now here on the left is a museum, the Etches Collection, also known as the Museum of Jurassic Marine Life. The museum was opened in 2016. It's got over 2,000 fossil specimens based on the lifetime collection of Steve Etches, a well-known fossil hunter. And there's a room in there that's used as a village hall. Unfortunately, they don't allow dogs in there. And this is our last port of call, Kimmeridge Church, the Church of St Nicholas. It's got a nave, chancel, vestry and porch. 12th century origins. The south door and parts of the west wall of the nave are original. The south porch is early 13th century, and this wonderful little bell cote is from the 15th century, but it was mostly rebuilt in 1872. And inside there's a 12th century font, which, according to our friend Arthur Mee, who wrote all those King's England books, the font was found in a nearby hedge in the 1920s. Well folks, we've come to the end of our walk. We thought we'd do the end scene here, right by the shore, with the waves lashing up against the rocks. We hope you enjoyed the walk. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up and a like, and do leave a comment, and do check out our Facebook page, Dave's Countryside Walks. We've had another super walk today. I mean, the weather has been quite outstanding and the scenery, well, quite stunning. We're off for a cup of tea somewhere. So until we meet again, thanks for watching and cheerio. Right, you fancy a swim now?